What a character. Pinoys praise Alex Eala for her take on handling pressure. Tennis ace Alex Eala drew praise for her perspective on handling pressure after she compared it to what many Filipinos face in their daily lives. The 20-year-old wunderkind impressed fans with her response during a post-match interview after defeating Russia's Eala Kuriva at the historic WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open on Monday, January 26. The match marked Alex's first home court appearance at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center and her first time competing professionally in front of a Filipino crowd. Following her victory, the left-handed star was asked about the pressure she felt competing in the country's first-ever WTA tournament on home soil. "Pressure is part of my job, and a lot of people ask me how I handle it. Of course, there's added pressure playing at home," Alex shared in the interview. "But it's nothing compared to the pressure that regular, everyday Filipinos have to face providing for their families. It's nothing compared to what my parents have sacrificed to bring me here. I'm doing my best and I'm trying to enjoy," she added. Her response resonated with fellow Filipinos, many of whom praised her grounded perspective. "I mean, that performance was next level, but her post-match interview? Chef's kiss," a Threads user wrote. Especially when she said that the pressure is nothing compared to the pressures of every Filipinos providing for their families, she captured everybody's hearts right there. "How can you not love this lady?" the Threads user added. The post has earned 3,000 likes, 136 reposts, and almost 80 replies on the Meta-owned platform. "Teary-eyed listening to her words, full of wisdom," another commented with emojis. "Her depth and articulacy are really admirable. I know nothing of tennis, but I'm rooting for her simply because of her character," a Reddit user wrote. "What a character! I love you, Alex. You make me so proud," another said. "She got wisdom. Vamos, Alex," another Redditor commented with a heart emoji. "Nakakayak. Nakaka-proud," a different Threads user wrote. "She raised our flag well. She is really an inspiration, a breath of fresh air and worthy of emulation. We, Filipinos, is a great race and deserve a living hero like her," another Pinoy wrote. Alex has previously been lauded for her efforts to preserve her Pinoy roots by continuing to immerse herself in Filipino culture while training in Spain before turning professional. Also read, "That's how people bond." Alex Eala lauded for embracing Filipino language, Pinoy roots. The second seed is set to face either world number 140 Himeno Sakatsum or number 204 Nao Hibino of Japan on January 28 at the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open. What a character. Why Pinoys are loving Alex Eala's take on handling pressure. It was a cool January evening at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center in Manila, a historic venue buzzing with the kind of electricity typically reserved for moments etched deep into a nation's sporting memory. Thousands had packed the stands to witness a rare sight, a Filipino tennis star, not merely competing on home soil but thriving there. At just 20 years old, Alex Eala had already transformed from a promising junior prodigy into a global competitor. But on this particular night, it wasn't her impeccable ground strokes or her precise serve that sparked the internet. Instead, it was what she said after the match. Words so grounded, so reflective, they captured the heart of a nation. More than a match win, a moment that spoke to millions. After she defeated Russia's Eala Kuriva convincingly in the opening round of the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open, a landmark event as the first professional women's tour tournament ever hosted in the Philippines, Eala was asked about the pressure of performing in front of her home crowd. Her response was striking in its humility and perspective. "Pressure is part of my job, but it's nothing compared to the pressures that regular everyday Filipinos have to face providing for their families. It's nothing compared to what my parents have sacrificed to bring me here." This wasn't the generic sports cliché about nerves or big crowds. This was a young athlete pausing, reflecting, and elevating her own experience by placing it beside the daily struggles of ordinary people, the very people cheering her on. Across social media platforms, especially in Filipino communities on Threads, Reddit, and other forums, the reaction was immediate. Fans affectionately said things like, "Chef's kiss," and "What a character," to describe not only her athletic performance but her humanity. People didn't just admire her talent, they admired her heart. Why her words hit home? At face value, it may seem like a simple comparison. A young athlete talked about her pressure in light of everyday struggles. But for many Filipinos, a people known for resilience, compassion, and an enduring sense of kapwa, shared identity or community, those few sentences struck a deep chord. Here's why. 1. She acknowledged the everyday struggle. To say that the pressure of a professional sport is nothing compared to what regular everyday Filipinos have to face was more than self-effacing. It was empathetic. It was a recognition that resonates with Filipinos everywhere, from overseas workers striving to support families to market vendors closing the day with uncertainty. Many people saw in her words their own experiences mirrored back to them. On Reddit, fans celebrated her depth and articulacy, even those who didn't follow tennis. One user admitted they were rooting for her not because of her sport, but because of her character. 2. She didn't lose sight of her roots. Eala's humility is part of a broader narrative of her embracing Filipino identity even as she trains abroad and competes internationally. She has spoken in various interviews about how kapwa, or shared human connection, fuels her drive and pride in representing the Philippines. This wasn't a detached sports star making a fleeting comment. It was a Filipina, raised in part by immigrant experiences and hardened by the realities of elite athletic preparation, honoring the everyday struggles of her countrymen with sincerity and gratitude. 3. Her perspective helped redefine what pressure means. Pressure, in sports, in life, in work, is often talked about as something to overcome. But what Eala highlighted is a broader human truth. Not all pressure is the same. The pressure of performance, media scrutiny, or athletic expectations are indeed difficult. But when she compared that to the emotional and existential pressure many families face just to put food on the table, she was reminding fans, inadvertently through tennis, that what unites us isn't who has it harder, but the fact that everyone manages pressure differently based on life's context. For Filipinos, the comment became almost philosophical. Social media reacts, from pride to inspiration. What happened on the court didn't stay on the court. On Threads and Reddit, fans shared, liked, and reposted her quote with emotional reactions, from heartfelt congratulations to teary emojis. One user wrote, "She captured everybody's hearts right there. How can you not love this lady?" Another Reddit user said, "Her depth and articulacy are really admirable. I know nothing of tennis, but I'm rooting for her simply because of her character."